Mallory, you guys as a staff after the spring game, you said it's decision time. When you really met with the staff and got together Saturday afternoon and Sunday, what were some of the bigger decisions that you guys believe you came together as a staff?
Well, the number one thing, we had to move forward as a team at the quarterback position. And we got 4 young men that have competed through spring, competed through two-a-days, and it is probably the most unselfish group that I've ever been a part of. It's a group that cares about one another, pushes one another, and competition makes you better. But we got to make decisions for the best of this football team, and Isaac Harker has got the nod, and he's going to run with the ones.
You mentioned Isaac. Of course, that's a name many people got to know last year. What really did he do throughout camp that really caught you and your staff's eye, even though, as you mentioned, everybody really caught your eye at some point in time during fall camp?
Well, like I said before, competition makes you better, and those other guys are right behind him, and it made him better. It made him be more of a student of the game, be more relaxed out there, and then fine-tune some of the things he needed to get corrected from the springtime to two-a-days and camp. I mean, I can't say two-a-days, but he's moved forward, and he's really done a nice job.
Let's get to the defensive line. Last year, you mentioned stopping the run is going to be a key. Last year, the defense as a whole was 9th best in the league when stopping the run, one of the worst rushing defenses in the league. When you watch film, where did you think those issues were last year and that you and the staff really wanted to try to touch up on and really make a strength this year for this squad?
Well, it always starts up front. And, we've got some guys back, Norvell being one. And, how strong you're going to be is how good you are in the middle of your defense. And Norvell's stout in there. He doesn't get pushed around. And then our middle linebackers. And that's where it's always going to start. And then you go back to your safety position and you build outside. But it always starts up front. And Norvell's done a nice job in spring. He's done a nice job in two-a-days. And the other young man that's really showed promise, and we got him this past year, is Rex Mosley. Really encouraged by the way he's come on. And then we've got a young man who joined our program here in two-a-days by the name of Evan Gill. Evan's, his motor never stops. He plays hard. And then we got Anoki. Anoki has done a great job. Another guy who plays nonstop. So I feel like we got 4 guys that have really done a good job. And then you got Yoda. Yoda's come off an injury, and he's coming along, and we know with his experience he'll be right in the mix.
When opponents look and watch your defensive line on film, what do you hope they describe that defensive line as?
They play hard. The best compliment you can ever get from an opposing coach and an opposing player is that you guys play hard, because that takes no talent. We'll let the rest take place, but if we turn on the film and your opponents say, hey, you know what, that defense plays hard. That's the best compliment, the number one compliment you can ever get as a defensive or an offensive player.
Have you seen that in camp thus far? And if you have, what has you encouraged from that aspect?
Well, early on, you'd see 1 or 2 guys playing hard. About after a week, we saw 4 or 5. And now we're about 6 or 7. And we're still not where we need to be, where we got all 11 playing at the same speed.
How big of a piece is Rex Mosley going to be?
Rex gives us some flexibility. He's played the end position. He's stout there at 275 pounds, and he's active. But he's definitely going to help us and help us against the run.
Even though interceptions don't obviously intertwine with the front of that defense, last year we were last in the league with 5 interceptions. The team really did not force a lot of turnovers. In part of that, how can that front 7, the defensive line in particular, help get those numbers boosted up and really play an impact?
Well, there's going to be times where I always tell the D-line the best coverage is a 4-man rush. And if we can get 4 to the quarterback, that gives you more. It gives you 7 in pass coverage. But if you start getting into a blitz, you got to have that blitz attitude. It is one-on-one opportunities. It's D-line beating their guy across the board one-on-one, and the DBs and linebackers covering one-on-one. It's one-on-one across the board. And if we got all 11 guys with that type of attitude, sacks and turnovers will come.